Hello, and welcome back to another Meatless Monday. However, this one is like the official first one because from the Aaron's Bacon Corner, I realized that playlists were a thing. So now I'm going to put my Meatless Monday stuff into a playlist as well. And then I guess it'll be easier to find. So like if you're, looking at my videos and you're like, I don't want meat in my food, the Meatless Monday section will be for you. Today we're making probably the easiest recipe that I know of and kind of make regularly. It's the hardest part in my steps at least, because you don't actually have to do this step because you could just buy pre-shredded cheese if you wanted, but it's shredding cheese. Like if you can handle shredding cheese, you can handle this recipe. It's gonna be black bean tacos, and they're kind of like crunchy and cheesy because you're gonna, to be fair, thinking about it, they're more quesadillas than a taco. But what is a quesadilla if not a taco that's just heated with the fillings in there? But this is going to be a great recipe to have for like a quick dinner, quick lunch, quick snacks, because you can make the filling and then just use the filling throughout the week as you need it. It's not a meal prep in the sense that like you have the final product ready. It's more of like prep the filling and then you just heat it when you need it. Good to go. It's make it. Just no excuses. Make it. My week's had some highs and some lows this week, so obviously I need to share. But one of the lows, or I guess kind of only low, is that Costco no longer has the gluten-free brand that I like, which hopefully it's not all Costco's because it was a great deal. And if you have, for whatever reason can't have gluten like me, and you didn't know that Costco had gluten-free bread, it has Scar. But a high moment is there's a new, well, it's not a new company, it's been around since the 1920s, because it used to be just one can of beans said gluten-free on it in my that I noticed. And this one, I think they just updated their labeling, and so now it says gluten-free. And so I bought that one because it's vastly cheaper, and I was like, thank you. And I have like a rule where if it's labeled gluten-free and other ones aren't, I'm buying that gluten-free brand. But obviously if there's multiple gluten-free brands, I'll go for the cheaper one because it's saving money. But just like a principle, because I appreciate that kind of like little bit of concern being lifted off my shoulder by them labeling it, showing that they understand that there are people out here that can't eat gluten, and they're kind of like thinking about that, and they're like, hey, this is fine, like you're good to go. And then the other kind of like high moment for me was I saw my car twin, and my car is like the make and model of it aren't too unique. I see a fair bit of it, but the color of it is quite unique. I see a handful of other cars that are that color, but like none that are the same make, model, and color. So like to see that car twin was a pretty big experience. I just realized that I have a cutting board that is pretty much the color of my car. So this is the color of my car, hence it being kind of unique. Not a lot of cars pull in this color. For seeing my car twin, I like slowly pulled up next to him, and they did the thing like, anybody, like if a car's coming up beside you, you kind of see it out of like your peripheral vision. And so he saw it, like you can kind of see like him like being a responsible driver, like see it kind of just like do like the look just to make sure that nothing crazy was happening. But then he did like a triple take because he did the look and then went like because he saw it, like looked again and was like what? And then it like dinged where it was like that's the same, because I'm guessing it's the same color as the first look, then realized it was the same color and car for that third look. And by that point I was like next to him, and then he like looked up, saw me, so we like made like eye contact, and then I went, and he gave me a thumbs up back, and it was a great moment. We were like going in the same direction for a little bit, but then he peeled off, and I was like, it would have been real good if we like had the same destination and I would have just made a new best friend. I mean, that's not like too crazy of a story, but for me, that's like the most excitement I've had all year of seeing a second car that looks like mine. So I'm gonna be riding that story for a while, until something bigger and better happens. Oh, and also I got a haircut, you know. That's no big deal. Just a little off the top. Barely any. All right, we had some fun. Now it's time to get serious. Start the cooking process. Let's run through those ingredients. Black beans, red onion, cilantro, cumin, paprika, salt, pepper jack cheese, corn tortillas. So I alluded to the game plan already in the intro, but the steps for it, just to kind of restate, are first mix the black beans, cilantro, red onions, and seasoning in a bowl, and then we're also going to grate the cheese, and that's pretty much all the prep work. Then you're gonna kind of go over to the pan, and you're going to heat the tortilla, and then put some of the filling into the tortilla. You don't want to fill up the whole tortilla because obviously we're gonna be folding it. So after you put the filling in there, I'm gonna put some cheese on top, fold it over, flip it, push it to the side, put another tortilla in, repeat that process, and you obviously are taking out tortillas once they crisp up, and then you're done. I mean, you're gonna serve it, have some toppings, like you got like sour cream, guacamole, salsa, very, you know, kind of typical toppings that you would think of this. And I mean, obviously they're not like toppings necessarily, it's more of like almost like dipping. So I'm gonna like I usually do like sour cream and like guacamole, and I just have like little portions of those sitting there and just kind of like dip it in and eat it, and it's delicious. It's gonna take like 15 minutes to make, and I'm all about it. So the first step, we're gonna need to cut the cilantro and the onion, and then just put it all into a bowl and mix it up. Now that the filling is done, I'm going to grate the pepper jack cheese. Like I stated before, you can buy your own pepper jack cheese. You don't need to buy it in the block. I know I've read where there is a difference in like freshly grated versus pre-grated. So I usually just buy the full thing and I grate it myself. If you're going to make a lot of these and you have a food processor that has a little grater attachment, just in like 2 seconds you can like push the whole block through there and have it grated real quick. But for me, for this, I'm just gonna use a hand grater because I'm only grating a portion of it, because I'm gonna grate more of it as the week goes when I eat more of it. So I'm only gonna grate what I need today, and then I'll grate what I need in the future. Now that we have the cheese and the filling all prepared, the next step is going to be to combine it with the tortilla and make a delicious, crunchy, cheesy black bean taco on a cast iron skillet. So here we go, here's the final product. Now, I never said they'd be beautiful. I said they'd be delicious, never said they'd be beautiful, which usually the things that look a little rough taste the best. So kind of that being said, looking back at the, steps that we've done, I realized that I was overfilling the tortillas a little bit, but that's also just because I like food. So as long as you're willing to accept that you're gonna have issues of things spilling out, you can kind of push that boundary a little bit. However, I did kind of forget to mention a step. After putting the ingredients in the bowl, you are supposed to mash it a little bit, which I did not do. However, when I'm cooking, I do press down a little bit to kind of get the cheese all kind of spread out once I do the fold over. So I kind of get the mash step in there a little. But if you're making this at home, make sure that you don't forget steps, which can be easily overcome by just actually reading the recipe. I thought I read the recipe, but apparently I just don't know how to read, and I missed mash. Learn from my mistakes and read things, because they're written there for a reason. You're supposed to, actually do what the instructions say. But I mean, overall, not a huge issue. You're probably that probably caused some of my overflow issues, because when you mash it, the beans obviously are flat and will kind of fit within the tortilla a little bit better, versus me, I had round ones, so they're rolling all over the place. So if you actually follow the instructions, you probably will have a better outcome than I did. That being said, overall, this recipe is fantastic. I don't think anything I did is gonna mess with it. I've had it before, so I don't need to eat it right now. This one, easy. I mean, you can guess this just from what I've been saying before, but 5 out of 5. It's quick, it's easy, few ingredients. It keeps for like the whole week. It's great for snacks. And I love me some snacks. I recommend almost everything I make, but this one, just make it. There is nothing holding you back. It's just 2 cans of beans and like a red onion. That's all you need. Get the spices, I guess cilantro. It's quick, it's easy. Just make it. I can't overstate it enough. Just make it. But yeah, no, it's delicious. And then I'm gonna grab some sour cream and some guacamole and have myself a good dinner. And I'm gonna be having a happy meatless Monday. Granted, this recipe isn't vegan, but if you put vegan cheese on it, then you got a vegan meal. This is vegetarian, not vegan, how I make it. But obviously, I can have dairy, so I'm not giving that up until it's pulled from my cold, dead fingers. And on that note, bye, Mom. Still not dead. See ya.